and welcome. And nice to have you with us on a Thursday afternoon. You got it. Good to have you aboard. 3rd day of May, 2018. Talked about the world of sports as far as this busy afternoon is concerned on a great Sirius XM 82. Good to have Colin Schmeling in the house today. And, of course, Bill Zimmerman, who will oversee what's going on. Looking forward to having Bill around in June, and we'll move around the slots and move people into different areas again. Maybe give Billy Eddie Erickson another shot at the Left Coast Live, and we'll figure out how we're going to do that as we move it along on this busy afternoon. Yes, to have Colin Schmeling. We'll do a little hockey today. We'll do a little NBA today, and of course we'll spend some time on Tiger plays today too at Wells Fargo, so we can get into that. And of course he was +1 last time I took a peek, and we'll have Bill and maybe a little Jason Witten today. Although I think Steve may have emptied the tank on Jason Witten and Joe Tessitore as far as the last hour is concerned. But Bill's back. Bill runs the place, and I want to mix it up. I want to mix up the producers a little bit. So getting Eddie back with the Left Coast Live for a little while, just to get a little taste, and move Jared Moore around and have some fun. So we'll think about that in the course of our afternoon today. This is Matt's last day today. The Penn State tomorrow. The Penn State Flash. So we say adios to him and say bon voyage. Enjoy Penn State. Never come back again. So we have that going on the busy afternoon. Let's start with the Yankees and the Mets today. And I know it's kind of weird to do it, but this is a big game for the Yankees. Well, I should say it's a bigger game for the Astros, who right now trail 2-0 early on with colors against Tanaka. And I tell you right now, the Astros have not been able to hit the Yankee pitching. And here it is. We essentially have said before this series started, and especially after Morton won Game 1 with that wonderful performance when he beat Sonny Gray, what the scenario is that the Astros have not been able to hit the Yankee pitching in these last 4 or 5 days. And they didn't hit the Yankee pitching a whole heck of a lot last year either in the ALCS. Remember, they won Game 2 2-1. They lost 3 straight badly at Yankee Stadium when they were rattled. And then, of course, Game 6, they only scored 3 runs. They didn't do a whole hell of a lot until the middle innings of Game 7. So from that perspective, this might have been, as I said earlier today, and I said yesterday, this actually might be a more important game for the Astros today than it was for the Yankees, who had just won 2 of their last 3. They've gotten Stanton on track. He had a big game yesterday with the 2 home runs. They feel a little better about Sonny Gray because of Sonny Gray's performance, at least respectable, on Monday afternoon with 6 solid innings. And so the Yankees, who were at one point, hovering around 9-9, have really galvanized themselves and done a heck of a job. 3 straight in Anaheim against the Angels. And, of course, they have at least gotten themselves when you get right down to it, at least gotten themselves a split of the 4-game series in Houston. And as I've said all along here, the Astros are a situation where they are only going to be judged when they play 3 or 4 teams in the American League and maybe a couple interleague series, like, for instance, this weekend against Arizona. I mean, they are only going to be judged on 5 or 6. Nobody's going to judge the Houston Astros on the Arizona on the Seattle Mariners or how they do against the Angels. They are going to be judged on the Yankees. They're going to be judged on the Indians. They're going to be judged on the Red Sox. They're going to be judged a couple of interleague series. That's how you're going to judge the Astros in 2018. I cannot judge the Astros when they play the Texas Rangers 25 times. I can't do it. Texas stinks. I can't judge them on the Oakland A's. A's are pesky, but they're the A's. I can judge them with the Yanks, and I can judge them to a certain degree with Cleveland. And of course, the Yankees can be judged by the fact that they play the Red Sox 16 more times, and that's the wonderful rivalry, and they're going to be head-to-head all year long. So the Yankees aren't going to be judged by Houston. Houston's going to be judged by the Yankees. And this is not a good sign here for the Astros these 4 games, especially if they end up losing this game today. Now, it's early. Things could change, but it's something to keep an eye on. And the Yankees are rolling. I mean, that's all there is to it. They have no Bird in the lineup. Drury's never going to play again because they got Andujar at third base. Walker's never going to play again because they got Torres at second base. Bird's back, so you can say goodbye to Tyler Austin. I mean, when he does come back, it sounds like 3 weeks. I had Aaron Boone on TV. So when you get right down to it, I mean, that is a heck of a... I mean, the Yankees are going to have Bird, Torres, DeGregorius, Andujar, Sanchez, Gardner, Hicks, Stanton, and Judge in some combination in the outfield. With Severino and Tanaka, and that's what the Yankees could struggle with pitching. But Severino went all the way last night, 9 innings, to get us started. I mean, that is as good as the Yankees are, I tell you. I still think Houston's a little better even with this weekend, but the Yankees are absolutely, they are going to be good and good for a long time. More money than God. They are resetting their luxury tax numbers, so they're going to not be taxed at the 50% number after this year, so they can go back to being taxed at a much lower rate, which means they'll be much more aggressive with anything they want to buy or need, i.e. a starting pitcher. And then, of course, they got all this young talent. Sanchez and Judge and Gregorius and Torres and Andujar. These are young players. So the Yankees are flying right now in the American League East. And as we begin the afternoon, it's a tale of two cities because the Mets right now are they're struggling. I mean, they were 11-1. They've lost 10 of 16. They're about think about it right now. They're about getting no hit today by Julio Turan. It's the bottom of the seventh inning. That's why Erickson's in a funk. Left Coast Live down the road. And, of course, today with the Mets getting no hit by Turan, it's 11-0 Atlanta in the bottom of the seventh inning at Citi Field. The Braves have played tremendously. Great lineup, shutting the Mets out left and right, and the Mets are a mess. And then you throw Matt Harvey into the equation. Harvey, who wanted to make sure he examined the food at a new Beverly Hills restaurant out in L.A. last weekend when the Mets are in San Diego. Yeah, without a day off. You figure it out. And Harvey, who's relegated to the bullpen, and Harvey today came in. I don't know what the exact number was, but Harvey today, 2 innings, 3 hits, 5 runs, including a home run by that little second baseman, who's Joe Morgan, Albiez, who hit the ball 9 miles, and who's 20 years of age. So another bad performance out of Harvey this afternoon, and away you go. So when you get right down to it, the Mets, who last night dodged a huge bullet with deGrom, their ace, of course, and Syndergaard really have springboarded the Mets to a decent start. He took a swing last night at the plate and hyperextended his elbow. For whatever the reason, he went back out in the mound. He threw 1 inning, then took himself out. The Mets were concerned. MRI today, he's okay. He won't miss a start. But gosh, it just shows you that if the Mets ever lose one of their 2 big pitchers, they got a major problem. Base hit in the right field corner, so the Mets do break up the no-hitter. Is that a Cabrera who did that? So the Mets have broken up the no-hitter with they hit a slider and laced it in the right. So Turan was 7 outs away of getting that done. Mets avoid a disaster with the base knock. But the bottom line is the Mets have not played well now for a long period of time. They lost a series. They've lost 2 series to the Braves. They lost to the Nationals. They lost a series in St. Louis. They did beat the Padres, but, New Canaan High School can do that. So when you get right down to it, it's been not good baseball for the Mets. And what to do with Harvey, who knows? Boy, you talk about these pitchers who you think might be on the cusp of stardom, and boy, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work out. Whether you bring him up and you think you're going to get him paid, or whatever the case, a lot of times, Giants gave Matt Cain and Lincecum tons of money, never worked out. There's a million examples. I mean, I don't have to go through. Darvish has been a complete bust with the Cubs. You think Theo wants that 126 back? And he's not exactly Branch Rickey with starting pitchers. He's a Hall of Famer. But his starters, he brings in Matt Clement, Julian Tavares. You throw in our good buddy John Lackey with the Cubs. Didn't really work out. They've had some trouble, and a bad performance by Darvish. The Mets with Harvey. A lot of people thought they should have gotten him signed to a long-term contract. He is on his way out, and maybe on his way out of Major League Baseball. I mean, you get right down to it. I mean, the Mets are a mess, and this is a team that was 11-1, flying all over the place, and they have had a lot of trouble here getting themselves right. They got a new manager. They got a cranky fan base. They got a disgruntled third starter who's banished to the bullpen. They got a team 6 miles away who they can't stand, who they have an inferiority complex with, rolling along. I mean, the Mets right now are not the Mets they were about 2 weeks ago. Baseball's a long season. The warts will show itself eventually, and, the warts may have sprung a little earlier than the Mets had hoped after that 11-1 getaway here in the NL East. And, of course, Harvey is a major problem. Mets don't have a third starter. I mean, that's the bad. They can't catch. They got no catching. They got all, they don't have a catcher, but they don't have a third starter. I mean, they have 2 great starters at the top of the rotation. Matt stinks. He's always hurt. He's this night. He's erratic. He hasn't been very good. You can't. Harvey, we discuss. Jason Vargas, he started today. They gave him $16 million. That was throwing money out down the toilet. He's been awful. A finesse, touch-feely guy, a lefty. He has not been good. So Mets got some starting pitching issues. And so do the Yankees eventually if they want to go out there and win a championship. But right now, the Yankees can, listen, with that offense and Bird, Dubak, and everything else, with Severino at the top of the rotation and a lights-out bullpen, the Yankees are flying. This is actually, it's hard to believe. This is an important last 6 innings for the Astros today. You do not want to lose 3 out of 4 to the Yankees right out of the gate. Right now, the Yankees with Tanaka lead the Astro team today 3-0 in the 3rd inning. And, to give the Yankees 3 runs, they're going to score more against McCullers. You throw in the fact that they have that ace-out bullpen. And this is a scenario where Houston is interesting today against New York in front of a big crowd down there at Minute Maid. So, the tale of 2, New York, on a busy afternoon. We will Vargas today, by the way, not good. 4 innings, 6 runs today. 3 innings, 9 runs. In his last start against San Diego. And if you go back, why are you giving me his 4 career starts as a...
Well, he's got a 29 ERA as a Met.
All right, because he pitched back in 2007. That's too long ago. I can't go back that far. First 2 starts, Eddie go to Left Coast Live. First 2 starts, not good. All right, lots to do. Busy program. Your calls, we continue. Nice to have you aboard on a busy Thursday show. We're back right after.